I wake up alone in a tent having been hunted by a bear. And I was like, that's the end of this relationship. And that is the end of camping for me.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hi, everyone. I am Ramona Ramirez. Margie, it's lovely to see you.
You too.
Everyone, if you happen to hear fans in the background or hear beads of sweat falling, it is because the state of California is currently the seventh gate of fucking hell right now. The weather is in the triple digits. We're hot. We're tired. It's even worse for Margie. You know, LA's triple digits right now. It's gnarly.
It's so, wait, is it hot where you are too?
It's hot. It's hot, but it's not like where you guys are.
I mean, this is outrageous. Yeah. And it's been like I was saying before, it's been like 6 days of it. And my system is just like, no more. I'm just like immediately in a bad mood when I walk outside. It is. It's like walking into a hell mouth. I'm just like,
truly,
this is gross.
Truly. I mean, you guys
like
should be getting
hot breath.
Snow days. As opposed, you guys should be getting like whatever the heat version of snow days are.
It reminds me of that feeling. Have you ever been in New York City in the dead of summer and you have to go down into a subway station and wait on the platform? It's that level of like wretched, still seething heat and
and steam.
Oh, and it's awful. And that's what
Yeah.
it just feels like all the time out there, at least on the subway platform. A subway comes and kicks up a breeze and then you can get in a car and it's like air conditioned. But this is just, it's been too many days of this. Anyways, I'm sorry to talk about it for so long. It's very boring, but it's making me lose my mind. I'm literally
so sorry.
A crazy person. I'm sorry for all of us. The whole city is just like, everybody's like hunched over and dripping sweat and just like trying to move through a day.
Yeah. So everyone bear with us.
Yeah.
As we discuss The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 18, Episode 9, A Picture Worth 1,000 Words.
Oh, a picture worth $75,000?
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's true.
That was my takeaway from this episode, was just that like John Jansen has ruined his own reputation. This whole episode centered around him, even though he wasn't in it. And I only came away from this being like, oh, you're a terrible person. Everything you're doing with Alexis is terrible. Everything you're doing to Shannon is terrible. It does feel like criminal extortion, but I guess he's found some legal loopholes to make that not so, which makes him an even bigger piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. So
he's such a piece of shit and such a full hip, so full hip.
And Shannon said it a couple times where she was like, the most important thing to John Jansen is being seen as a good guy. And I feel like that is true of most of the sociopaths I've known in my life.
Yes.
And you've said it, and I've been like, you know, maybe John and Alexis are a great match, but it put a chill down my spine of like, oh, he is going to do exactly this to her. It's just a matter of time. Because he only cares about looking like a good guy. It doesn't matter what girl he's with, what pain he inflicts. He really went all in on ruining Shannon. Great job. You won. Now what?
Yeah, you won.
Idiot.
Now what? Yeah, exactly. It's so
yucky.
It's so terrible. It's so terrible. We start the episode at Heather's Beverly Hills home, and 3 of her 4 kids are there. Heather shares that she's moved back to Los Angeles because of more inclusive opportunities for my kids, she says. Her son Ace is trans. Kat is in a high-level film production school, and she's thriving. And the kids would rather live in L.A. than O.C. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know I don't like Heather much, but I did appreciate her. Like, I do think she has the means to do these things, to offer Ace, her trans child, a fresh start so he could start new in a school and just enter as his fully realized self.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the means to do that, you absolutely should. And I appreciate her For everything I hate about her, I really appreciated her for this
Absolutely.
choice.
100%.
And I know pieces of it were selfishly motivated, but like I think the bigger piece, I hope, is looking after these kids.
She's not wrong about middle school being the utter fucking worst. Like middle school is the worst. It's the worst, period, end of story. She doesn't want to tell her kids stories for them. She isn't trying to hide her kids, but also doesn't want to exploit them either. And I believe her for sure. And I do give her points and credit because she has always seemed very, very supportive of her children being exactly who they are. Mm-hmm. And we need as many parents as possible to do this. As we know that being trans or being gay or being non-binary in certain parts of this country right now is a fucking death sentence. It can be. And that chills me to the core. And I do appreciate that Heather has always seemed to celebrate her children, and she's using her means to bring visibility to cultivating a culture where everyone is safe to be themselves. I personally cannot imagine. All I know is that Orange County is like the most conservative part of California on the coast. You go like 40 miles inland, 30 miles inland here where I live in the Bay Area, and you're going to see Trump stickers. You're going to see thin blue line American flag stickers on people's raised ass trucks. It can get real scary even in California for certain people. So kudos to Heather for this. And I still think she's got a little dollop of self-congratulatoriness about it all, though,
I don't disagree. I think she's really proud of herself, as we are proud of her for how she handles this.
Yes, you're right.
But I do appreciate it. And Alexis as well.
I
for
know.
whatever reason, I didn't realize she had a trans kid.
Yeah.
And like the fact that it's not even a question to talk about it, to support it, like that actually surprised me from Jesus Jugs.
Yeah.
That's certainly not the culture she was raised in.
Nope.
And those kids' first formative years under Jim Bellino's roof, I'm sure there wasn't a lot of like talk about radical inclusion in that situation. So it's hopeful.
It is hopeful.
If even
is hopeful.
These Orange County image conscious fucks can set aside everything they think they know about what a family should look like to let their kids be fully expressed. I don't know. These two are like the villains of the season for me. And I really couldn't help but like them both as parents. I was like, all right, guys.
Broken clocks.
All right.
Broken clocks.
But at very important hours, they're right this time.
Extremely important hours, yes. So good for them. I agree. I agree. Then we have the packing montages for Sonoma, in quotes, and I would be remiss if I didn't offer an opportunity for a the more you know .gif right now. GIF, sorry, it's GIF. I want to say to everyone who is not from the Bay Area or the state of California who may not know, they were not in Sonoma proper. They were in Sonoma County, fair. Guerneville is a little teeny tiny town on the Russian River. And the Russian River is this beautiful recreational area, probably about 45 minutes, an hour north of where I am in Oakland. And, you can camp, you can stay in cabins, you can float down the river in an inner tube. It's just lovely. So again, I want to make it clear, they are not in Sonoma. Sonoma proper, Sonoma the city, the wine country, neighbor of Napa, is about 40 to 50 miles away from where they are. Guerneville is extremely LGBTQIA plus friendly, and it is a robust LGBTQ community. Not the glamour and glitz of West Hollywood at all. Like you see pride flags. We saw equality wines there. So Guerneville is a trip because it's rustic, it's gay, and it also has a really methy element to it. I don't know, probably about 6 or 7 years ago now. I'm not even sure if Leo was 1 at the time. No, he might have just been like 1.5 because he was walking. So our family and my friend Lee, she's one of my besties, our families took our newish babies, and we went to Guerneville for the 4th of July weekend. And Lee and I had furlough for an hour or two. And we walked ourselves into town, and we went to a little flea market that was in the parking lot of a Safeway. And we're both biracial. Lee is half Black. I am half Mexican. We do not pass as white, either one of us. And we're in this flea market, and we look up and we see mammies on the shelves. We see Confederate flags on the wall. I saw some blackface art in quotations. And I swear to fucking God, I heard that Dixie song, doing a mashup with Turkey in the Straw. And we looked at each other and we noped the fuck out, lest we become two unwitting stars in a Jordan Peele movie. It was fucking terrifying. My heart started pounding and my blood ran down my body. Like, when you feel like your blood run cold and it just, every liquid in your body feels like it just shuttles itself at top speed down to like your calves and your shins. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it was terrifying. We looked at each other with those huge eye emojis like, oh, fuck, we in danger, girl, abort.
That's in the same city that this LGBTQ,
yes, that
Mecca?
Is what I'm saying. Yes.
That's so...
Yes.
Oh, America.
Across the street from a store that's kind of like Oz, that sells...
fake dog shit and
yes, exactly. So we bought like Cards Against Humanity there because I forgot mine at home, and joke books and pride flags and greeting cards with like men in like leather daddy outfits and stuff. Like it's all in the same block, and so it's a fucking trip. Anyway, just want to give that PSA about Guerneville. It's not Sonoma.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad for this episode that we stayed away from such a flea market.
Me
and
too.
Really focused in on the more inclusive part of that town.
I was scared. I was fucking scared for my life. I was scared for my life for a few minutes, I'm not being dramatic. Like we were like,
no,
oh
it
my
sounds
God.
surreal. Like I can barely wrap my head around
surreal.
how it's like walking, how sometimes if you're in the ocean, the water is warm, and then you walk through like a really cold patch, and it's like, what the fuck was that? It's like literally chilling.
That's
like,
exactly what it was.
That's how my body is responding when you tell this story. I'm like,
wait,
what?
I'll never forget it.
Good
I'll
Lord.
never forget it. And I texted Lee when I was rewatching the episode, and I was like, remember that? I'm talking about it tonight because it left an imprint.
It's spooky.
It was terrifying.
Another thing that was...
go ahead.
Sorry,
yes.
go ahead.
No, you.
I mean, I was just going to say it's terrifying how much paper Heather uses to pack her clothing.
Oh, my God.
One sweater took like 30 sheets of tissue paper, and God bless her assistant for being on the payroll to I think her job description is smile and agree, because she was like, that's amazing. Oh my God, that's so great. It's like...
Professional ass kisser, I know.
Oh my God, but that's the job description. Like personal assistant is yes man. They just can't say it so bluntly.
The utter
But that
waste.
was a shocking... Agreed. And I was like, you don't wrap it like that on the way back because then your clothes are dirty. So then you send them to a dry cleaner to be wrapped in plastic, to come back to be wrapped in tissue paper. Like, you've talked about it before. We both share somewhat similar and also particular dreads of packing. And this would add another layer of this would add 13 more hours to the whole drama of getting clothes in a bag if you have to wrap each of them in 45 sheets of tissue paper. It was shocking. I was like, when is it going to stop? There's already tissue paper on the part you just put tissue paper over.
Yeah.
Just put it in the bag.
Just put it,
It took so long. And she's like, and then you just put it in the bag. And this poor girl is standing there like, I have to wrap half your closet like that? Okay.
It's one thing if I'm packing, like when I went to New Orleans last year and I had to pack a sequin dress to wear to the main event party. Yeah, I packed it very carefully, very lovingly. I probably did use some sort of tissue paper to fold it and yada, yada. But
this woman was packing a cotton sweater.
All
right?
It was
the sequin dress. Yes.
And she just, again, it's like the kick she gets out of it. Aren't I hilarious? Isn't this hilarious? I know it's excessive. Just like, Heather, stop. Just
And the condescension of like, idiots pack by putting their clothes right in the bag. Not me. I wrap them in, fucking bolts of
God.
reams of tissue paper. So
That's what I do with my Christmas ornaments. I don't do that with my packing of clothes.
it just seems like, especially if you're going out of town for like 2 days, I just can't imagine. And again, it's the luxury of money and time. It's like
Totally.
normal people can't do that. Normal people don't have 6 hours to wrap every piece of clothing in tissue paper. So
Oh, my
normal
God.
people just put clothes in a bag and get to the airport. But
Listen, even if I had Dubr money, I'm still going to do something better with my fucking time than pack my Gucci cashmere hooded cardigan or whatever in a million pieces of tissue paper. She's really activated us, Margie, because I think we've been talking about this for about 3 minutes.
I'm sorry about it. I just
Don't
really
apologize. She
I found
deserves
it
it.
shocking. And the fact that she brought the cameras in to do it with an audience of
I
this young
know.
woman,
That's
like
what I'm saying.
who was then
She's-
left to do the rest of this shitty job. Like it just was so Heather to me again.
And God forbid that assistant not follow those directions to a T. And whatever.
I wish we'd had a GoPro in her car ride home when she called her friend. It was like, you won't believe what this bitch had me do. Please help me get on Indeed.com tonight and find a new job. This is outrageous. Like, it just must be like, I don't think she went home and was like, great day on the job. You'll never believe what I learned. We're packing wrong. Everyone's packing wrong. It's just like, what do you think is happening? But Heather doesn't care. Like, that's the beauty of being rich. You just don't care. It doesn't occur to you.
There's the regular way and the Dubr way.
Blow me.
God, blow me too. Blow us both.
Anyways, then we go to a little FaceTime between Jen and Katie, and Jen reports that she'll be flying out separate from the group because she finally has a court date after 4 years with her ex to try and work out alimony and child support. And she breaks down talking to Katie. She'd just gotten off of a mediation call. And she just said, I just can't do all this. I just can't do all this, like through tears. And that broke my heart. It is so much, and it's so scary, and it's so high stakes. There's 5 kids involved, and she has no money. And Ryan, and like it does feel like there's no way out, like it must be a really terrifying time for her.
Truly.
And God knows it's just the beginning of the roller coaster yet to come.
Exactly.
Tamara at some point says like she'll probably never get a job and just rely on Ryan. And it's like, well, she would if she could, but now Ryan's in trouble. So
it's coming for her. Jen's reckoning is coming for her.
But
and
she'll be better off and
yeah,
happier.
oh, I agree. I agree.
I look
agree.
forward to her breaking free of these tools, who mistreat her and also, yeah, she's capable of being an independent earning entity. So
She is. Yeah. I was going to say that saying from 12-step rooms, like your higher power will try to get your attention with a feather, and then like a breeze, and then a feather, and then a brick. And hopefully the Otani's interpreter scandal will be her brick. I don't know.
She got engaged after that.
Oh my God,
broke.
you're right. You're right. Never mind.
I don't know. She's just not ready.
She's
and
not ready.
I appreciated Katie. I really like Katie so much.
I love Katie.
She just said, like, I totally get it. I wish I could go with you. And she said, it's heavy and it's scary. She just like witnessed where Jen is with this. She didn't pull any of the like, it gets better, don't worry about it. She literally was just with her exactly how she remembered it. Like, I had nothing. I was left with nothing. This is a really heavy, scary moment in time.
Yep. It's palpable. You can hear it in Katie's voice. She really does wish she can go with Jen to court, and she means it. I really like them. I really like their scenes together. They feel like the most relatable. Emily, I would love for her to join that group in earnest again, but meaning relatable. But I think,
she's like everybody got a little bit. A little bit better this episode.
Yes. And Emily is coming back into my good graces after after last week's
when
episode.
the perfumer asked her favorite scent and she said tacos. I was like,
my
there's our girl.
God. I know. She's all tacos, like meat,
It's
like
savory.
meat, like carnitas.
What's better than meat and cheese? It's like, well, nothing.
Emily.
There you go.
It's not the thing.
Coco Chanel is going to come out with, Coco Chanel by Lowry's taco seasoning.
Lol. Then we are at a municipal airport for the arrivals and the private jet taking off. And unfortunately, I could relate to Shannon having to rearrange her suitcase at the airport. I'm not that bad, but I've been in that same general mental space where I've had something in my hand in the car on the way to the airport. And as soon as we get out, I open up the top of the zipper and I stick it in. And then I rush to lock it up and I make sure I know the key combo. And yeah, so.
But her bag broke. I mean, Shannon is just like the next level up of like, dude.
I know.
And I had a sickening feeling. Again, this is like hypervigilance and projection, but I was like, there's something in that bag. I'm like, there's a bottle in that bag. I know there is. I'm sure there wasn't. It was just her makeup. But I got this like sick feeling where I was like, oh, please don't let this reveal something darker than everything else that's about to come up on this trip. Lord. I did think it was funny that Heather had a seating chart for the plane and she put on like the unappealing bench seat. She put closest to her assistant, then Gina, then Alexis, then Katie. Anyways, Katie was like farthest away and her assistant got a better spot than any one of those three. So she's so petty. As much as I'm like, she's a wonderful mom. She's so accepting and inclusive. She's like so petty. When given the opportunity, she will pull shit like that, which is just
She will
rude.
infantilize her castmates. Yeah. And, she thinks things will be okay with Alexis and Shannon if they're separated. So it's like for a hot minute, like we could think like, oh, maybe she's being kind. And then we learn the main reason that she's doing it is because she doesn't want to sit next to Katie either. So yes, Heather, let's move on in quotes, but let's not sit next to each other. Like Katie's not going to start shit on this plane. Heather is so, never mind. I don't need to.
She's so Heather.
She's so Heather. Katie says she's shocked that she's not in the cargo part of the plane. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, she gets it. Katie sees right through Heather, and I love her for seeing it and saying something. Like, that's the difference. Is I feel like lots of them see Heather for who she really is, but nobody says it. And Katie's just like, why wouldn't I say it? Like, she's being petty and ridiculous. I guess I should be grateful I wasn't in a dog crate in the cargo hold.
Honestly.
So great.
Honestly.
Off we go for our 20-minute flight to Guerneville or whatever.
Yeah, to Guerneville, lest anyone get it twisted. Heather. Just say fuck it. Heather can't even say Guerneville. Like the signs all over. Guerneville, Guerneville, Guerneville. Anyway.
I mean, I guess it's Sonoma County. I don't know. I didn't know enough to know. But at one point on the flight, Emily asks if Shannon is dating. And Shannon says, I don't want to date. And then we get in, Emily says, well, just go for fun and don't buy them shoes, which opens up this whole conversation about how John Jansen and Alexis hard launched with a red carpet debut. And they posted on Instagram and Shannon zoomed in to see that John was wearing Ferragamo shoes that she had purchased for him. And, and Alexis is just like a petty twat. And she's like, a 60-year-old woman is dissecting a photo.
Dude.
And Alexis goes like, oh my God, are we in high school? Find something else to focus on. And I'm like, how can she? You and your boyfriend, you are encouraging your boyfriend to sue the shit out of her. So you can't say move on when you're the one who's injecting yourself into her life. They literally just broke up.
Right.
You just hard launched your relationship in exactly the way that he broke up with her, saying he didn't want any part of this public profile. So what do you mean focus on something else? I'm obsessed with it and I have nothing to do with it. It's whiplash. It's so confusing and so jacked up and so Johnny J, just signature Johnny J.
Also, like, it's not like she's dissecting the fucking photo. It's just they're on. Don't get me started, dude. I just
look, as she's getting sued for being asked to pay back something after saying that he never paid for anything. I also would look to see, like, is he wearing the shit that I bought him as he asked me to pay him back for shit that he gifted me?
Right.
Like, it's not petty. It's actually, he's engaged in this lawsuit. It would be petty if this lawsuit wasn't central. And it literally is the day that she's finding out whether her settlement offer was accepted or not. So, like, go away, Alexis.
They're
And don't
standing,
age shame her ass.
I
Like,
was going to
you're
say,
so rude.
I was going to say, like, the light misogyny and age shaming, it's like, listen, we are lucky to age. We are fucking lucky. We know what the alternative is. It's coming for you too, Alexis. It's coming for you too, God willing. Don't be that person. There are a lot of things we can criticize Shannon about. Well, that wasn't a very kind way of saying it, but you know what I'm saying before I go off on one of my fucking famous ADHD tangents. But see, I fucked it up already. I don't know how to get back.
Look,
will you get back for me?
I mean, I don't know. All I know is that it's exactly what you're saying. It's just so unnecessary. Like, Alexis, you win. You have her boyfriend. You have money. You're younger.
Yep.
Congratulations. So shut up about it and just like be that. Just live in the glory of all that you are. It's what everyone keeps saying. Gina said it in this episode. Emily said it last episode. If you're so happy, why are you so fucking obsessed with Shannon? Why do you care so much about the ex? Let it go. Why do you care how old she is? How is she relevant to you? You didn't even break up that relation. Like, she's nothing. She should not register to Alexis. So I just find it like, it's like when Tamara quoted a weight for her. It's just like, stop with like the numbers just to be hurtful, to kick up her own obsessions and, you know.
For two women who claim to be Christian.
Right.
Who like really like, it's part of their personalities. It's part of like
they were hugging in bear costumes going like, Lord, let's pray over Tamra.
Exactly.
She misses her child.
But the full hip of it all, after they land, Gina tells Alexis, you cannot release those videos. You don't want that on your conscience. And Alexis says, well, I want her to learn. You can't do things to hurt people. It's not my fight, but it is my man. Again, playing God when she is not. And you'd think that Jesus Jugs would know that, oh, whatever. I'm giving these people way too much fucking credit and it's too hot and I'm too cranky.
I mean, I thought it was chilling when Gina said, you know, you don't want to make this worse. If you really don't want to make this worse, then don't release videos. And Alexis said she wants Shannon to understand how much she's hurt other people.
Oh my God.
And it's like, you are the hurt people like example. Like, don't do that. That actually causes a whole cycle of harm to be born. But I think Alexis is fully conscious of all of her options and she is choosing the ones that harm Shannon the most because she and John get high on that, which is a sad way to be connected in a love relationship. I would not want any part of those. Is that what you talk about over dinner? You two just bitch about Shannon? What a dumb romance. How stupid.
Ew.
Clearly they're consumed with it.
Truly.
Filing,
obsessed.
watching videos, talking about releasing them. And like, they're just fucking crazy. So they talk about Shannon and then have sex. To me, that sounds what else do they have time for? If they're having sex 4 times a day and suing Shannon, what else is there time for?
No. Men in Black that away from me. No,
sorry about
I
it.
don't like that. Grody.
Anyways, we arrive at Dawn Ranch and we're welcomed by the general manager named Teach, which I don't know why it made me laugh so hard. Nobody even smiled. I'm like, is anyone paying attention? He just introduced himself like, hey, Teach. Anyways, they all go to their rooms and Katie finds a spider in her coffee maker and shrieks in exactly the same way I might. And I'm a Katie type. I love nature, but I don't like bugs, and the unpredictability of the outdoors is too much for my nervous system. I don't do well. So I'm not a camper girl.
I like to camp if it's in a campground that has been created to be a campground, you know, like the bathrooms have lights and
but there's still like moths
I know.
At night. Like, it's still terrifying. The wildlife is in charge, not me.
I need the DEET bug spray
Yeah.
on shit like that. And I need the net to be completely zipped up on that tent. And God forbid you don't zip it up all the way and there's a mosquito in my room. I'm going to be really mad at you. I mean, I go to the beach. I love the beach. I love the water. I don't like sand at all. It doesn't make no sense.
It
But
makes total sense. It's like,
I find it offensive.
but see, I get something from the beach that I don't get from like a camping trip.
I
Camping just like
understand.
kind of terrifies me. The beach feels like expansive and the ocean is so beautiful and always rhythmically bringing in waves. And like
Yep.
nature is just like, I hear a crunch and I'm like, that's a mountain
It's a
lion. It's going to
bear.
kill me. Yeah. Like
I know.
100%. I can't relax.
It's wild when you think about it. You're like sleeping in a structure made of fabric that literally protects you from, when you think about it, absolutely nothing.
I mean, the last time I went camping was like 15 years ago now, probably, because I'm sure I told you this story. I went with a boyfriend and we went to Yosemite and it was absolutely beautiful. But when we pulled in, the park rangers were like, oh, the bears are just getting out of hibernation, so they're incredibly hungry. So do not spill anything on the ground. And they gave us these things to hoist your food up in the air, all the shit. And the first thing this boyfriend did was spill a beer on the ground. And then I was in the car unloading shit and I come out to see that he'd put our tent up over where the beer was. And I was
Oh,
like, dude,
no.
what? And then in the middle of the night, the huffing of a
Oh,
bear
that's
muzzle
right. I
up
remember
against the
this.
tent, pushing against it. It was absolutely terrifying. And it went on forever. And we were both frozen. Talk about sweating, like, and your blood running cold. I was like, we're going to be eaten by this bear because you spilled a beer. And oh my God. And then eventually the bear departed. And I must have fallen asleep for 25 seconds. But when I woke up, this boyfriend was in the car, sleeping in the car with the heat on, left me in the tent. Didn't say like, hey, babe, let's go get in the car together because that was scary, right? No, I wake up alone in a tent having been hunted by a bear. And I was like, that's the end of this relationship. And that is the end of camping for me. And both were true.
Oh my God.
I remain friends with this guy. And we, to this day, he still thinks it's fine that he went to the car. And I'm like, it's never fine. But anyways,
It's absolutely
I can't.
not okay. It's
No.
absolutely not okay. I would shit. I don't need to tell, never mind. I don't need
What?
to go on about this. No, we went to a wedding in wine country a long time ago. It was when I still lived in LA. Me and my mom and my sister and my niece. And we stayed at a rustic kind of hotel nearby. And when my sister turned the faucet on to give my niece a bath, a black widow came out of the drain.
No,
Right?
no.
Right. Yeah.
What do you even do? You
What
can't,
do you do?
kill it? What do you do? It's bigger than a palm.
I
It's
think we
terrifying.
called the front gate or the front desk or whatever. But yeah, I mean, that shit just doesn't leave you.
No.
You don't want it. Like, you're pouring some hot water into a cup to make yourself a cup of tea and relax in your little cabin. And a spider comes out. No, I'm out.
No.
They were much more humble accommodations, rustic, charming, more humble than our housewives are probably used to. They were all like, "Oh, cute," you know.
They were cute, but I also could smell them. Like, I know exactly what that is. It's like slightly damp wood that will never get dry. It's not cold in there, but it's not comfortable. You're always like a little bit outside. Like, I've stayed in places like that. There's a place up at Big Sur that I actually love that has little cabins like that. But like it's camping in a wood tent, basically, with indoor plumbing.
Ay.
And electricity. It's much nicer. But anyways, who cares?
Katie,
Sorry, go ahead.
Katie, Emily, and Shannon go to lunch, and Shannon says she's going to order one thing because they're on vacation. And
Girl.
it is such a thing to say when you are a problem drinker, like the little parameters that just serve to like quiet the voice in your head that, like she's rationalizing. Oh, I felt for her. And also it made me so itchy.
It's like people always say, like, the last person to know that someone is an alcoholic is the alcoholic, because everyone else is like, if you're not an alcoholic, like you say, you don't qualify what you're drinking.
Right,
You just order the
exactly.
drink you want.
Yep.
But she's like, well, because we're on vacation and I'm having a hard day, I'm going to order just this one thing, a little special,
A
a
little,
vodka
right.
soda with cranberry. And it's
Yeah.
like, how many of those
Yep.
did you have in your room before you got here? Because you're
Oy.
a little loose. Anyways, and Gina comments, and this sort of broke my heart, that I think Gina really recognizes that Shannon's drinking is. Gina says it should be easier for Shannon to pass on a drink because she's at a table with Gina, who is sober, and she's on a trip with Tamara, who's watching her like a fucking hawk. So if with these two circumstances in place, if Shannon is still turning to alcohol on a hard day, like it feels like that relationship is out of balance.
It does. And I was like, I didn't know if, okay, so Al-Anon is for people that are affected by another person's drinking. I don't even think you have to be bothered by another person's drink. You just have to be affected by it. And this entire cast needs to forego their next trip scheduled to an exotic locale, and they need to instead take a field trip to an Al-Anon meeting altogether. Because there is so much focus on Shannon's drinking, and I understand it. She drove into a house.
Well, and I think last week really shook me when she said, look, if there's going to be, if I run into consequences for my drinking, I'll face my drinking. But it's like, this whole lawsuit is a consequence of your drinking. This whole breakup is a consequence of your drinking. Your whole life right now is one large consequence of your drinking. Everything that you're crying about and drinking over is a consequence of your drinking. And the fact that she can't piece that together, she just thinks she's having a bad year and it's John Jansen's fault. It's not. It's not your fault, but like your side of the street is not yet clean, my dear.
Girl, no, it is not.
But again, it's like, as my sponsor in my first program said, you'll be done when you're done and not a minute before.
Yep.
And all you can do is keep going back. And I do see hope with Shannon. There are moments where I see changes in her. So maybe her evolution over the next 3 to 5 years will be get her to a point where she won't be ordering a vodka, soda, cranberry.
Your lips to God's ears, man.
Whatever.
At the concurrent lunch, Tamara tells Alexis that she and John Jansen are breaking the internet right now because of their photos at an Oscar party event in quotations, and not to be that petty bitch, but also to be that petty bitch. What Oscar event are they going to? Because it's not a legit Oscar event. I'm sorry. They went to like some Z- list Oscar event. Just like, please.
Also, you're not breaking the internet. I hate to tell you, but like the internet was broken by Kim Kardashian's butt catching champagne spray, like not from two relative unknowns standing on a red carpet for 1 second.
Honestly,
that was a real look at how Tamara views the world, the lens through which she considers herself important. It's
reality blurb. Good God.
My God.
I'd be humiliated. I would be humiliated to even say that. Yeah, please. And Shannon, oh no, you go ahead, please.
No,
friend.
go.
You. Shannon makes an excellent point saying he's pissed because he didn't like their life being so public, but now he's on red carpets with Alexis and it's full hip, you know? Ay, ay, ay.
We learned that John sold a part of a company that he owned, and so he has plenty of money. He's not doing this to like recoup a loss that he can't make up on his own. He's suing her just to be a dick, and she offered him about half, and she's waiting to find out if he'll accept that settlement. And Emily encourages her here and throughout to just give him what he wants. Just pay him off and be done with this. Buy your way out of this hell. And Shannon is right. She's like, it feels like extortion. And it's like, because it is. You're dealing with a bad guy. But again, you know, what is your part? You chose to date him and stay with him for all these years. And if you're with a bad guy, you can't expect him to do good things when you're broken up.
No.
So
no,
he's not going to back down. And, you know, we get there eventually. But
oh, God.
And this is where Shannon first says, what is important to John is that people think he's a good guy. And step one is destroying Shannon. And I was like, oof. So dark, but so
It's
true.
so dark. It's so dark that is your reason for getting out of bed in the morning.
And your
And
girlfriend's reason. They're both in this
God,
so
get
tightly
lives,
together.
man.
It's right. It's so
Seriously,
creepy.
gross.
Especially making it a storyline when his whole claim was that he didn't like this.
Exactly.
It's just so bizarre. It's a real mind fuck. But then we have a
Yeah.
moment where, again, I softened for Alexis when she told Heather that she's glad she was invited on this trip and could come because, you know, it's important that her kids know that she'll fight for them any opportunity she's given. And I was like, oh. So for like 1 second, I was like, all right.
It's just she broken clocked. A lot of these
Yeah.
housewives across these franchises just are broken clocks.
Yep.
So the wine shop group lands in Equality Wines, Equality Vines, and Equality Vines or Wines.
I did not write it down.
Oh shit! See, Equality Vines would work because it's a winery, but I think it was Equality Wines. So I apologize. I either typoed or I wrote it down incorrectly. I don't know,
I
but
think you just pitched them a better name for their for their label.
well, I love that.
Yeah.
But that is a super accurate example of a Guerneville LGBTQIA shop. It's humble but charming and like welcoming and just down to earth. And that is what makes Guerneville so great. We are introduced to James Black, who is the president and CEO of Family Equality, and we learn that they won the lawsuit that they filed against the Florida State Board of Education, challenging Florida's insane, disgusting, hateful, own the libs motivated law of don't say gay.
It's that if nothing else motivates people to vote, like please vote for representatives who will not waste their time putting into
And tax dollars.
legislation
Right.
a don't say like the whole thing is just so absurd. It's a Saturday Night Live sketch except it's real.
Oh,
It's
my
so
God.
insane and so stupid and such a waste of time and resources that this country really could put to better use. Oh my God.
So yeah, so they sued Florida over the don't say gay law because that means that they can't talk about their families, and they won. So they can now say gay in Florida. And Heather says that's why she supports and wants to help raise the visibility of family equality. And at dinner on Friday at my house, I was talking with my mom and Josh and my son Leo, and we were talking about how, you know, my sister and I have wanted to take Leo and my niece, my sister's daughter, to Disney World because my sister and I grew up going to Disneyland, and we've always been curious about Disney World. You know, to me, it's the lesser of the Disney parks.
It is. I've been. It's not great.
Okay.
Disneyland rules.
Disneyland is the fucking shit. It's the OG. Yes, it might be smaller, but I don't care.
It's so magical, and
It
Orlando is not. Disneyland was built in orange groves. I mean, it's just it grew out of the earth in this like, you know, creative, amazing way. And Disney World really feels like the capitalist venture it is. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I bet. But no, I'm just curious to see like the different rides and see how it differs. But I told him, and my son is 8, I told him I don't want to go right now because I don't want to give the state of Florida money because the governor is a mean guy. And he said, well, what does that mean? And I said, he doesn't let kids be kids. He doesn't let kids be who they are. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, let's say a little boy wanted to wear a dress and call themselves a little girl. That governor wouldn't let them do that. And he said, well, he just looked at me like with this face like, that what? That's insane. He's like, well, my friend so-and-so wears dresses. Like, what's the problem? And I said, ding, ding, ding. Exactly, my child. I love you. That's why we're not going to Disney World. Even my 8-year-old knows it's insane.
Because it's just not interesting. It's not anything for them to fight about. It's like, who cares about this? Nobody should. Then we have the Dosage, which I don't know what it is, and I truly don't care about like champagne tastings in the flavors of Heather's children.
Oh my God.
That's where I was like, oh, okay, and you've lost me.
And because it's like, for as admirable as Heather is, she's still gonna debro. and making the wines out of her 4 children.
It's just,
what's the most Dubr thing in the planet?
Yes,
besides...
weirdly self-aggrandizing in a moment that didn't need to be that. But
exactly.
Okay.
I don't want to tell their stories and I don't want to exploit them.
But
yet.
Here's 4 champagnes named after each of them. Okay. And then Jen does arrive and she reports that court did not go how she'd hoped. And she's getting $6,000 a month, which, sounds like a lovely sum, but with 5 children, it quickly becomes nothing, especially with like teenagers. My sister's teenage boys eat more than I can't. It's amazing. That bummed me out about Will, her ex.
Me
I'm
too.
Like, come on,
Big time.
man.
It's your kids,
It's
man.
your kids. Feed
it's
them,
your kids.
clothe them. Like, good Lord.
Don't take it out on Jen. Like,
Yeah,
it's your kids.
But that's what happens. It gets petty and stupid, and they forget the bigger purpose of their own families, And then it broke my heart when Jen said that the last time they were in that courthouse, she and her ex, they were so happy and so united because they were adopting their son. And to have such a dramatic 180 to revisit that place, being given the most limited funds to support that family that they built together is heartbreaking. It broke my heart.
Totally. Tamara at some point says that she thinks Jen will rely on Ryan and not get a job because of the $6,000 a month. And I just wanted to say, Tamara, STFU, take care of your own flawed family first before giving advice. Your son is a conspiracy theorist, MAGA, who you teamed up to SA one of your coworkers, okay? And your daughter doesn't talk to you because you're still on this show, and yet you choose to still be on this show. So please be quiet. Please be quiet.
Also, it just was a real one of those, like, whatever spiritual practice you're involved in, like, they're in 12-step rooms, they talk a lot about like there, but for the grace of God. Like, just live in that space, Tamara. Thank God that's not your situation, because actually you don't know what you would do. And by the way, I bet you'd stay in the mansion with the rich guy.
I bet you would too. Mm-hmm.
Especially if you have no credit history built because you've never held a job. Like, you can judge her all you want, but like, just be grateful it's not your situation. Congratulations. You're better, I guess, if that's I never know what the end game of a comment like that is. I'm like, what, do you want to be right? Okay,
yes.
So you're right. So now what?
I don't know.
I just can't stand her. Yeah, she's really
repellent.
is.
She's repellent and repugnant.
And then she goes on to report to tattle on Shannon that, Shannon did not react well to this red carpet debut of John and Alexis.
Neither did I, because honestly, it was a fucking joke. I didn't react to the fact that they called it a red carpet debut at an Oscar event, because I'm sorry, they weren't even in LA. I bet you they weren't even in LA. They were at some viewing party at a movie theater in Orange County that happened to have a cheesy ass step and repeat. Fight me.
Totally. But in Shannon's position, it would destroy me as well. It would absolutely be rubbing my nose in shit. And I'm just in no mood for it, as
okay.
But this really is, Shannon, if you don't think you have a troubled relationship with alcohol, you Ubered to a bar at the mall to have a drink, and someone took a picture of you there, and then they cut to her in the car going like, I had a Pellegrino and cranberry. Okay, you had a Pellegrino and cranberry at a bar in the mall. No, you didn't. Just like, oh my God, the whole thing is such a mess.
It was, and was that, did like a stranger take a picture of Shannon?
I would have, I'll be honest. I would have.
Is that how Tamara found out about it? That's what I gathered. Is it someone snapped a picture incognito of Shannon at a bar with a notebook and a short shot, and then posted it on Instagram or something, and then Tamara saw it and then
spread it around like she do.
Oh God, the humiliation.
And Shannon did. I think Shannon did say, "You're kidding me." And it's like, I literally went to a bar in the mall and somebody fucking found me out. Like, it's hopeless. It didn't make me laugh. That is, if that's not a bottom, I don't know what is. You know,
Heather
in the mall.
Heather
so
says,
sad.
I've never sat at a bar and had a mocktail. I love
me too.
offerings
Everyone
from like a non-alc space.
And
TM
you don't go
Carl
out.
Radke. Yeah, exactly. You don't go out. Last night, Josh and I went to dinner. I had a non-alcoholic cucumber gimlet And it was tasty as fuck.
Heather should have just said what we were all actually thinking, which is, I don't believe Shannon ordered a mocktail at a bar that day. Like, I don't think anyone does. And again, you don't go to a bar at the mall if you're going anywhere to just like grab a drink. You don't Uber to fucking Paseo, Pasadena to sit at the mozzarella bar or whatever the hell. Anyways, it's just so sad. That's the bar. I guess that's the bar in the Beverly Center, but it's just like loud and sad and terrible. I just would never. Anyways.
I think I've been to an R&D in San Diego at
Oh, that's right.
UTC.
That's the name of the bar? Okay.
Well, it's a restaurant that and I could be completely wrong. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's called R&D, and they sell like their fares are marketed towards like the healthy group. So it's like a higher end kind of restaurant dining experience at a mall, but organic and couscous instead of like, something else.
Mozzarella sticks.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And so, right, exactly. So, I don't know, it would fit with Shannon going for like the real food aspect of it all, but also maybe no one will see me here because I'm at the R&D bar at fucking
and
Fashion
honestly,
Island.
In a million years, I would never guess that I would be caught going at a bar at the mall. But, oh, Shannon. Then we go to Shannon, Emily, Gina, and Katie at the spa. And Gina reports that she's having digestive issues. And then a perfumer comes, and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gina, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. Then Gina just starts her descent into complete, utter denial, ignorance, self-centeredness. I don't.
Self-centeredness. Just stop. Like, the fact that she is so inconsiderate of Travis, it blows my mind that they were able to stay together as long as they did and remain together. She talks about how Gina got a new dog, but it sounds like the dog is at Travis's house.
Mm-hmm.
That she's shocked that Travis is pissed and lonely. And it's like, oh my God, he's angry about Gina kicking him out and immediately starting construction. So again, it sounds like she didn't tell him that this would get underway the second his tires moved off the property line. Like, it is vile what Gina did. And then she's like, I'm worried that this is pulling my family apart. And I'm like, it is. And then she says one of her daughters struggles with transitions. And she's like, and now I'm forcing this transition on her. I'm like, and you don't care is what the bottom line is. You can say it in your sad voice all you want. But the truth is you got what you want and you're getting what you want. And you don't give a shit about the collateral damage to your children, to your boyfriend, to anyone else. Give him a dog. Let them see if that makes him happier. And I get everything I want, including staying at his house while I get construction done on the house I kicked him out of, so it can be a completely different space for me and my kids only, just those guys.
I cannot believe that she was shocked that this was a trigger for Travis and says, I didn't think of it when I did it. And Emily said what you and I said a month ago, like, he's taking it like you kicked him out and you made these changes immediately. And the fact that she
did kick him out and make those changes. Those are the facts.
And referring to, she says what you just said, Sienna has a hard time with transitions, referring to this seismic shift in her family as a transition was offensive to me. A transition.
It's like gaslighting a kid.
Yes.
This is a trauma for them, and for you to say, like, don't be sad. Don't make this a sad thing. She's sad.
I was
because
so pissed.
Her entire understanding of stability was shattered when you kicked Travis and his children out. So don't tell her to not be sad. Don't tell her to not be stressed. Like, you're a turd.
You are her mom. And you broke up her fucking family.
And just accept responsibility for that instead of being like, what happened? I worry this is going to harm people. Oh, do you? Like, ugh.
She says, it's not a sad thing because it's a happy day. I was like, what in the fuck? Are you insane?
Yes, she is
fucking insane.
She's insane. If I'm Travis, I'm mad at her too.
Get ready, because Sienna's going to pull you into a group therapy session with her and her therapist.
If you're so lucky, or
you better pay the fucking piper, Gina.
Or she'll just cut you off.
Right.
Like Tamara's kids, the parents need to be more cautious of the shit they pull, because when their kids are underage, they do have a certain whatever. Once they turn 18, they're allowed to make their own decisions. And often that includes much less contact, if any at all, with parents who suck. So
Yep.
Enjoy this moment in time where you can manipulate them to think and do what you want. But like, this ain't permanent, lady.
It's
And
not
Gina
a sad
goes,
thing
I'm
because
sorry.
it's a happy day. It's not a sad thing because it's a happy day.
I'm
glad it's on camera. I'm glad. I feel
And
terribly for her children and Travis's children.
Me too.
I feel terribly.
It is. Yeah, Gina did a gross thing.
I don't know how you could possibly have that kind of a disconnect. I just don't get it. I
She
can't
just wants
imagine.
what she wants. Like, again, she's an untreated addict, and the natural state of an addict is they want what they want when they want it. And so she's
True.
not drinking, but she wants space, and she wants it now, and she's going to do it at whatever cost. Fuck those kids. They'll get over it. I went through hell. Like everybody's just, there's these weird like flare-ups of selfishness that make my whole stomach turn inside out. Speaking of which,
Disgusting.
the best scene transition I've ever witnessed in my life. So Shannon had left at a certain point because her lawyer called, and Gina's talking, droning on about why Travis is mad at her. And then she goes, "This is why I have gas." And Shannon enters and says, "I'm going to have diarrhea." And I was like, oh my God, you just one-upped her with like gastrointestinal issues. And I've never
Ew.
laughed harder.
Yeah.
And then I just got sad because this is where Shannon reports that John did not accept her offer. Which clearly to me indicates he's just dead set on releasing the videos and humiliating her into oblivion. And Shannon is understandably distraught. And we have another cycle of Shannon objects to paying him on principle. Emily encourages her to write the check and be done with him. And Gina, I think, actually made a good point. She said it's more than just principle. It's a huge sum of money. And I was like, oh, that is true.
Yeah.
And Gina in her confessional says, it just feels vindictive. Why do you want to hurt someone so badly when you're so happy in your new relationship? Take the fucking check and go live your life.
Honestly.
There it all is right there.
And like, I get it. I'm a major, it's the principle of the thing kind of a person. To my detriment. I understand that holding on to the principle of the thing, it does me no good 9 times out of 10. I'm suffering when I hold on to the principle instead of just accepting life on life's terms in whatever way it happens to be manifesting. But I get it. I get it so hard, Shannon. I validate you for it's the principle of the thing. It is such a hard pill to swallow for me. Deciding to pursue the right, like, but it's right and just, but I'm fucking miserable.
Right.
What do I do? That mindset that I have, if I accept unacceptable behavior, it automatically means that I'm condoning unacceptable behavior. And that's a hard thing. Even in my middle age, it's still a hard thing for me to grasp.
Well, and I'm so petty that I'm like, if I let them get away with it, then they get away with it.
Right.
But what I lose sight of is how miserable and how much life I rob from myself by being so dug in on making sure that they don't get away with it.
I know.
At a certain point, let them get away with it and we all move on with our lives. Like, but it's really, and this is all very new still for Shannon. Like, this had just happened at the reunion, 3 months ago or whatever. Anyways. But I thought Katie made a great point saying if he's talking in the media, he's going to look like the asshole, not Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think truer words have never been spoken.
Agreed. I mean, you show your stripes and everyone's going to see it, like.
And in his effort to look like a good guy, he's absolutely shredded every hope for that. I don't know who could feel any bit of sympathy for this man, even if you hate Shannon and think she's ridiculous. What he is doing is outrageous.
Yeah.
It's just beyond.
Have
It's
fun,
so
Alexis.
crazy.
Hitching your
Honestly.
wagon to that disgusting dude.
Enjoy.
A lady of Christ.
Yikes.
I know. Emily says, write the check, get him out of your life. And then they talk about the fact that they're all going to have to go to dinner later and she's going to have to see Alexis after, having this conversation.
It's
and
too
that's
much.
it's way too much. And then we go back to the wine shop where we pick up a discussion about Heather's 2 favorite topics, a seating chart and Katie and her beef with Katie. But this is not before saying she invited Katie because this trip is about inclusivity. And I'm sorry, but Dubr isn't an idiot, and she thinks that we are stupid. She knows that the inclusivity that family equality is talking about is different than the kind of inclusivity of inviting Katie on a fucking girls trip. That's not the same thing, and she knows it. Am I misreading that? She's using it.
Yeah.
She's spinning it. She's
Well,
spinning the word inclusivity.
She said,
She's
in the spirit of inclusivity, I invited my mortal enemy.
Dude.
But I loved Tamara for laughing at her. That was a moment of like honest reaction of like, in the spirit of inclusivity, like that's what you said. And like, because it is like you're saying, it's absurd. And even Tamara Judge couldn't stifle her gag at the whole thing.
She invited her so that she can protect her image of being high and mighty and above it all. And things don't really bother her like that. That's why she invited her.
Right. But then she sits her at the back of the plane and it's like,
exactly.
There is no spirit of inclusivity.
You're just so high on her own supply of bullshit. It's just unfucking real.
Yeah. And then Tamara here, which I imagine will become important later in the season, suggests that Gina, she's trying to tell Heather to give Katie a legitimate chance. And Tamara suggests that Gina is behind Katie reporting on the Disney paparazzi, oh my God, who cares story. And that Gina encouraged Katie to bring it up, and that's whatever. So maybe that will play into the season down the line. And then Alexis pipes in to say that she claims she suggested that John settle with Shannon. I don't believe her for a second. But she said John said no because Shannon smeared his name and ruined his reputation and painted him to be a deadbeat alcoholic, which, as far as I can tell, right on the money.
Right?
So,
I'm sorry. No one had to paint anything. No one had to paint anything.
Your dad has to like peel you off the ground at a golf event because you're so fucking wasted. And you're wearing your Shannon purchased Ferragamo shoes with your new girlfriend on your red carpet debut. Like you're a deadbeat alcoholic there.
And your new teeth. Honestly, it's like the
Sorry
men
about
that
it.
get the new teeth, he's joining the ranks of Brooks. So congratulations.
I don't know.
Ay, ay, ay. Back at the spa, Gina spills the information that there is a video. And I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that Gina is not trying to la-la her way through this season. She is la-la-ing. She is.
You think that was intentional?
I do.
Interesting.
I do think it is. I do.
It was so bizarre because Gina said, like, oh, you don't want to do this with the video thing. And then there was a bunch of like stilted silence. And Shannon goes, what video thing? What video thing? What video thing? What video thing? What, like 20 times in a row, she was just like turning her head like a frightened bird going like, what video thing?
This is why Katie, Gina had gas. This is why she had the GI shit, because she knew she was going to bring it up.
You think? That's interesting.
I don't.
Yeah, I believe that she set Katie up, so why wouldn't she like?
Exactly.
And it turns out to be a good thing that this came out, and Katie is actually the one with the balls to tell Shannon that John and Alexis are threatening to release ring camera footage of the night of the DUI. And Shannon broke my heart, because I love an alcoholic, when she was like, what is it? I don't remember. And I was like, oh God. And then she cries and says, I'm working so fucking hard on myself and he's just trying to take me down. I don't understand. I'm so angry right now. And I was like, I believe you. I believe you are working on yourself. Like, again, as Gina said a couple weeks ago, not at the pace anyone is satisfied with, but like, I think it's good that she's angry with him and that she hates him. Like that you're finally seeing him for who he's been all these years. Like that's actually progress, even though it's so painful.
Oh God.
And she said, he's a monster. And I just wrote, yes.
He is a monster. He's a monster. Like
and she's shaking and sobbing and like, he's done it. You destroyed her. Congratulations. Again, now what? Now what?
Right? You're still going to look like a fucking pariah, and people are still going to laugh at you behind your back because he's wearing his Sunday best to his quote unquote Oscar red carpet debut. He's wearing
the man who wanted to be out of the public eye. So,
the
okay.
Ferragamos. Like, here's what I'm going to do. If I ever see John Jansen in Orange County, I don't know why I'd be there, but like, let's just say, I'll be like, oh, are those the Ferragamos Shannon bought you?
I mean, he won't care. Like, that's when that engagement a million years ago broke off, my therapist at the time, I went in every week and I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I found the perfect mixed CD that I'm going to burn from and send in. It really tells the story that I want. And she's just kept saying, he doesn't care.
Doesn't care.
And then I was like, I wrote a letter and this one is like really concise. She goes, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And it was so cutting and it fucking hurt so bad. But she was right. He doesn't care. And my investment in him caring is ruining my life. Like but I mean, you have to, like, part of it is the natural part of working your way through heartbreak is to do shit like that, to plan their demise. And I did a lot of weird shit, as you know, in that breakup. But my therapist repeating to me every week, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And he sent me all my shit and it happened to arrive on my birthday. And I went into my therapist's office and I was like, it came on my birthday. Do you either way, it's terrible. And I'm going to let him know. He either sent it so it would arrive my birthday or he forgot my birthday. And she was like, he doesn't care. And I was like, oh my God. But this is my point. It's like, there's no getting through to someone like that. No. They're relieved to be done with you. And so anyone that has anything to say about Shannon is equally as disgusting to him as Shannon. So it doesn't land, and soon that Alexis will take on that mantle. And that's just the nature of a man like John Jansen, as far as I can tell.
Ew.
Right.
Anyways. Ew. Not if he was the last man on the earth. You can smell the alcohol through his pores.
I know. You can see it on screen somehow, like in a cartoon, like coming out like little steam
little vapors. Little vapors. It's gross. Katie and Emily go into a boiling hot bath where they say they're boiling off their assholes. Okay, cool. And the two of them discuss a plan to appeal to Alexis's empathetic side. Like, bruh, you don't understand. You have, like, mission accomplished. She's shattered. She's a shell. So is this really what you want your legacy to be? Is this really how you want to be remembered? Because that's how I'm not going to remember her for being, an ally for her trans kid. I'm going to remember her for being like a misogynist, age-shaming, John Jansen dick riding, literally and figuratively, like asshole, hypocritical Christian.
Well, and Emily said, what I would say to her is, I know you feel like you're doing the right thing and you're defending your man, but consider looking at it from this perspective. What you're actually doing is you're on a path of destroying another woman. Emily went on to say, like, Shannon's kids are gone. She doesn't have a partner or a boyfriend or a husband. And Emily's like, I think Alexis would be reasonable. And I was like, I don't think so. I think Alexis is well aware of all of this. She knows that's an option and she's not choosing it because she is John Jansen, ride or die. And
gross.
That's who you become when you're a John Jansen, ride or die. You don't care about other women, certainly not an old one, an old spinster like Shannon.
Exactly. Exactly.
So sad. I did giggle at the little scene of Emily, Gina, and Katie walking out of the spa in their robes and like holding their shoes. And they're like, this is like the walk of shame in college. Like, do you think he'll call me? Probably not. Like, I was like, that is college.
Oh, man.
It's very funny. Then we have some phone calls checking in.
Some dumb phone calls, right?
And then we have the moment of Shannon coming to Heather's cabin. And I imagine this visit will make more sense in the next episode. But basically, she's shaking and she tells Heather what happened with the John situation, that she paid him out in full because of the threat to release these videos. And she's torn up because she didn't lie. She did pay for everything in the first 2 years of their relationship. And John Jansen wants everyone to think that he's a good guy. I don't know. And then she tells this, I don't know, this scene confused me a little bit. She talks about how that car accident, which we saw the video of, she slammed into a house, but she said it was kitty corner from John's house. So he absolutely heard the crash.
Totally.
And if he was at all confused about who it was, the police showed up. So there was that activity in the neighborhood. So he must have known it was Shannon, and he must have just been like, fuck her. And she also sent him a picture of her bloody face after the accident, which is so alcoholic manipulative. Like that piece of it, I was like, I don't feel sorry for you. Like, you get what you get when you do weird shit like that. But so she sent him that picture and heard nothing back. And then a couple hours later, he texted to say, like, what's going on? The cops brought Archie to my house. So that relationship brought out the worst in both of those human
Absolutely.
beings. And if anything was unclear, that 3 seconds crystallizes it. When you see Shannon peel out of your driveway in such an aggressive fashion that apparently she almost hit your daughter with her car, and then the next sound you hear is the crunching of metal against cement, and you don't pop your head outside to go like, uh-oh, I hope a human being, even though I hate her right now, I hope that human being isn't damaged. He didn't do anything except bitch about Archie being dropped off at an inconvenient hour. He's awful.
He's awful. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a full-on, like, Yenta asshole right now, but, like, if I hear an and it's, like, within walking distance of my house,
I'm always like,
I'm going to go
boop,
see what's
hello.
going on. Yeah, like, it's just, like it's rubbernecking in your front yard. You don't have to be in your car. Like,
But it's not just rubbernecking. If someone was harmed, you would
Yes.
call 911.
Yes, yes,
It's not
yes,
just for the
yes.
thrill of seeing the accident.
Right.
It's like, if I can be the first one to make a call if someone's bloody or unconscious.
yes.
And it did shock me because I didn't realize that Shannon had passed out and woke up at the hospital. Like, she was so
I didn't
fucked
either. I didn't either.
She admitted to that like she claimed it was a head injury. Maybe it was that, maybe it was drinking, maybe it was the combination of all of these things. But like Heather said, like she was very impaired that night, and it's hard to know how much she actually remembers. And it doesn't sound like much because Shannon said, I don't remember sending John this picture. So she took a selfie, sent it, and has no recollection that happened. Like, she was so fucked up.
I
Wow.
took issue with the fact that it sounded like she completely downplayed how hard she hit that house.
She's like, I hit a planter. I'm like, bitch, we saw it.
We saw it.
Careened into that house. Like, this is the part where Shannon is at risk of reoffending. She's not in touch with she must have seen that video. We all did. If that
did.
doesn't shake some sense into you of like, oh my fucking God, if there had been a person on that sidewalk or a dog or something, like,
As you say, a soft body.
Good God.
Yeah.
She is so lucky she didn't kill someone. And she just is she thinks she just tapped a planter on a bad night. And it's like, wow.
Dude.
I want to root for you, but you're so far away from reality still.
Completely. I know. And hella mad denial. Yep.
And then she shows Heather the picture, and it is like, I think it was the expression on her face that I was like, oh God. Like, it's just that, it's such a manipulative.
So victim. Yes.
Yes.
So
and like the blood streaming down her
Yeah.
face. Like, it almost looks like a Halloween costume. And I'm sure she was like, yes. It's like those people on TikTok or whatever who film themselves crying.
Oh,
like they
my
set up a
God.
camera across the bathroom, and then they go hug their knees in the corner of the bathroom and cry. And then they have to get up and go turn it off. Like, that to me is what that picture read as. It's like,
Yep.
this is a performance.
Totally.
Fuck you. And it didn't work because he's
Feel
an asshole.
sorry for me. I
Right.
got hurt. My face hurts.
This is what you did to me. Look what you made me do.
Right.
If you were nicer to me, I wouldn't be bleeding out of my eyes. And they're both so terrible. That relationship was the definition of toxic. If he doesn't give a shit that he hears a car crash and can't be bothered to respond to a bloody face picture, like, we're not in a loving partnership. So
No.
I'm glad it's over for both of them.
Speaking of toxic, can I just segue into what I watched this week?
Please.
I want to go on record. I am fucking done with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I'm done with that entire fucking franchise. I am done. I'm
That
done.
was bad. That finale was bad.
It was egregious. It was egregious.
And
Jesse
it's,
Palmer
yeah.
asking her, like, okay, are you ready to see it? She's like, do I have a choice?
And nobody
Jesse.
answered the question.
Nope.
Like that was the
Nobody
part
answered
where
the
I was
question.
like, that's where you
Vile.
pause the production and you go like, whoa, is this
Vile.
gonna, yeah, it was that guy, but they're too young for this shit. It should not be televised. Like that's what my end conclusion was, is like, she's 24. This other kid who made an ass of himself, that Devin kid who she chose and just like giggled on stage with his head down, like clearly unbothered that he broke this woman's heart, couldn't care less. This is what dating in your 20s actually looks like. Don't put it on TV. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad.
If anyone listening hasn't seen the show, the series Unreal, it was on Lifetime, or it was on something and then it pivoted to Lifetime. It doesn't matter. I'm sure you can stream it somewhere. It's written by a former producer. It's scripted, but they show you how the sausage is made. And like, fine, we all know that producers, either they do look into the backgrounds of these problematic people that go on these shows on that they cast, or they don't. I've never seen anyone on that stage. And again, I've watched every fucking season of this fakakta goddamn franchise. No one has cried like that. They've cried where you can kind of like dab at the corner of your eye. Jen was sobbing.
Because it had just happened.
It had just happened. This man is a fucking disgusting monster. People that went to high school with him are coming out of the woodwork, sharing their stories on TikTok, on Instagram. Again, go to the Bachelor subreddit if you want that.
I get it, but that brings me no satisfaction. They're too young to be on TV and exploited like this. This will define him for the next 10 to 15 years. That sucks. If anyone had looked at me at age 24 to 26, if I was defined by the shit I was doing then, like, you don't know who you are then. And I don't know anything. You mentioned some political stuff and I have not looked into that. I'm just talking about the relationship side.
Mm-hmm.
What he did was atrocious. It was aggressively atrocious to dump Jen and immediately follow Maria, which is clearly who he thought the Bachelorette was going to be and was disappointed it wasn't. To me, that's enough to be like, go all the way to hell.
And that's why I'm quitting. They made Jen sit through a traumatic fucking experience.
And they aired all of it. I was like, edit this out, edit it out.
There was no reason for us to see it.
For 20 minutes.
There was no reason for us to see it. And they did not recast men that specifically went on thinking it was going to be Daisy or Maria. And then it's going to be Jen. She's the first Asian American Bachelorette. And they did nothing to support that. They did absolutely nothing.
They exploited her.
Yep,
that finale was an exploitation.
They threw her under the fucking
heartbreak.
bus. They threw her to the wolves.
It was
and I'm
so
done.
Gross.
I'm done. And it sounds like a lot of other people are done too.
It's just not fun to watch anymore.
It's not fun to watch anymore.
You're watching the destruction of young people. And like, there's nothing, and no amount of shots of Charity and Dotun and getting another trip to Greece is going to redeem what they did in that 3 hours of watching a young woman absolutely come apart at the seams after you set her up for it.
Right.
And Jesse Palmer is not equipped to manage that kind of emotion. He was an idiot, God bless him, but like, good Lord, just moving it along for commercial breaks. I was like, this is so insensitive. I need to blow up my TV.
Let's take a look at Joan's exciting season of The Golden Bachelorette coming up. I was like, I'm turning it off.
And also after the ridiculous outcome of The Golden Bachelor, I can't imagine.
Oh, I don't care.
I'll get invested
anymore.
in Joan's journey.
No, I'm not.
That guy turned out to be a total putz, and they spent years searching for him.
Jerry, gross. Yeah. So I watched The Bachelorette. I'm done. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And then I also watched some more Only Murders in the Building, yada, yada. And then I finished season 5 of Summer House. And net, I'm over Luke and I'm over Hannah. Like,
see, look at the journey you've been on.
I know. I've come full circle.
Yeah, it's a ride those two brought us along on.
Really, they did. And then I started season 6. I think I'm 2 episodes in. And Kyle got shit-faced beyond belief the very first night that they are in their new summer house. And I don't know what it is that keeps those two together. I think it must be just some sort of insane sexual chemistry that we don't see enough of, and that is it. But like, you don't have to do this, Amanda. And do I need to go to an Al-Anon meeting because of these two people? I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I want to remind you, like, I don't know if you remember, her parents made Kyle sign a contract. If they had to cancel the wedding because of Kyle's drinking, he was going to pay for everything.
That's dark.
And
I
Sierra
forgot
and
about
Paige
that.
are like, okay. After Amanda shares this with them and she leaves the room, they're like, if it's gotten to that point that there's a contract involved, what are you doing?
Where the expectation is that your fiance will absolutely drink himself into oblivion on your wedding day, that he absolutely will not take that day off. That's the expectation. And so you have to draw up legal paperwork so that he might actually be present to say his vows. Present mentally, I mean, not just like looped out on
Nope.
Fireball or whatever.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. It's
He
so
is
dark.
so. And then, like, you're not fun. I'm just
Summer
trying to
should be
have
fun.
fun. Summer should be fun. And like full Al-Anon behavior, throwing the suitcases on the front steps, and also like throwing his whole like DOP kit on the ground, and his products like shatter. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not cool. And I can't believe they fucking get married. I cannot believe
I
they get
couldn't
married.
either. I
I
never, while it was happening, especially, anyways, you haven't gotten there yet, but
No,
yeah, it is shocking that they got married and stayed married.
I
I don't know. They still are incompatible. You watched last season.
I
It's like
did,
she
and I
wants to move to
do.
the country and have kids, and he wants to be a DJ in New Jersey. So like, uh-oh,
Jesus.
we got problems, y'all.
And Kyle is like, has he already like passed through the door of 40, or is he knocking on it? Like, is he 37
He's definitely
in season 8?
39, but I can't
Okay.
remember if he's yet turned 40. But
Oh,
I know
wait,
there
or
was like a
did he turn
39th
40 at
birthday. Maybe
his
he did.
in
I feel
season
like there would
8?
have been a bigger deal.
Probably. He's like, where's your shame, Kyle Cook? Where is your shame?
Nowhere. I'm gonna
He's
look
an
up his age,
alcoholic,
'cause
right? You're
his
looking at me
drinking
like,
his
yeah.
drinking bothers me.
His drinking bothers me too. And it bothers
Yeah.
Amanda. It bothers the whole house. Like,
Oh, he's 42, Ramona.
no.
He's 42 years old.
Bruh.
There's a 9-year age gap.
Oh, God. Well, everyone's got their own higher power, right?
Yeah, man.
Good luck to you. Good luck to both of them. So that's what I watched. How about you, friend? What did you watch?
I also watched The Bachelorette and also was like fuming and so confused. I couldn't believe what was happening. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that's what they chose to air. I couldn't believe they put her through that, her family. I loved her brother.
I did too.
He's so sweet. I mean, if anything came out of that, I was like, oh my God, you and your brother have a really important relationship. And, and 10 years from now, when she meets her actual partner, that'll be great. But it's too soon. She's 24. It's just it's absurd. It's just crazy.
They just did her dirty on top of dirty on top of dirty on top of dirty.
It literally was just
cruelty.
So, yeah, it was careless. And I think it was thoughtless. Like,
Absolutely.
That's the part that bugs me the most, is that I don't even know if it was cruel. It's worse. They didn't think about what they were doing to her or putting her through. Like, at any point, they could have made different choices. And all the way to the finish, they just aired 30 minutes of her completely sobbing as Devin sat there with a smirk on his face and his hands in his lap, like, sorry about it, never loved you. It's like, oh my God, don't say the quiet parts out loud. Nobody knows what they're doing. And just like classic, whatever. Anyways, I'll leave it alone. So I watched that, and a new season of Selling Sunset came out. So I watched the first episode.
Yes.
So I love it.
I love Selling
Sunset. I love how it's shot. It's
too.
Just great. And it's so stupid. The stakes are so low that it's so just low. Like, deliciously irrelevant to me. I'll never wear anything they wear. I'll never buy anything they sell. It's just not in my circle of life at all. And I love it.
Totally.
And then I just watched sports. College football is back. Michigan did not have a great game. This is going to be a tough season for us. So I'm glad I talked about it last season when it was, last season was absolutely magical. And I watched the US Open, and there's a whole new generation of like young tennis players coming up, and it's really exciting to see them. And American players are finally making an impact again. So, and the US Open is played in New York City, so they always have all these like beautiful aerial shots of like New York City, and then they bring it down into the US Open Stadium that's just like, packed with sweaty celebrities, and it's just a great weekend in New York City. So that's what I watched.
I love it. And what was your antidepressant this week?
What was my antidepressant? I think as I think about Jen and her brother, I've had a couple really great phone calls with my sister. And I got to tell her the other day, like, we're both doing work on ourselves. The other day we were talking, and I just got to like thank her for, I'm like, hey, it's just occurring to me that like nobody raised you, like you raised me. So you were my like stopgap for a mom or a parent when there wasn't one available because our household was so fucking chaotic. But I realized there wasn't a you for you, and nobody raised you. And like, I was like, I just want to say thank you for that, because like it afforded me stability. And we talked about how like our household was so crazy. Like my dad was a alcoholic and a rageaholic, and he would regularly just explode the house, throw everything, often down the stairs. And my sister and I would huddle in the hallway. She would come find me because I was shaking and scared. And in our little nightgown, she would like hug me and tell me plans of how she's like, we'll move to New York together and we'll live together back in New York City. We were born there. And this was when we were in a house in California that all this drama was happening. And she would soothe me with these like visions of sisters living together away from chaos like this. And we got to talk about that. And I got to tell her like, thank you. And I love you. And I'm so sorry you didn't have a you. You're so valuable. Like you have no idea. And I'm so sad that it didn't occur to me until like my 40s to be like, oh, Caroline didn't have a Caroline. She didn't get any parents. I got like we both kind of got like a half present. My mom did amazing. Obviously, she was managing a lot. When you're up every night with a psycho like that, you don't have a shit ton of energy in the morning to like make a healthy breakfast for your kids or dress them right or whatever. So she really, she wanted to be a great mom, and she put her back into it in every chance she could and did great when she could. But Caroline filled the gaps for me, and nobody filled the gaps for Caroline. So we had a nice conversation where I just said, thank you. And I'm sorry, But why would I know, I don't know. You don't know to realize these things until all this time has passed and you're talking to some outside help about like things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And Caroline's one of them. My sister, I love her so much. So that's my antidepressant.
I love that.
I love that reality TV brings those relationships into focus. Like it was seeing Jen's brother like cry over him not wanting her to be hurt again by another asshole. Spoiler alert. She got hurt again by another asshole. But that relationship is, that unconditional love is just unchangeable, even through fights and
totally
distance and all the shit that happens over decades of being alive in each other's, faces. Anyways, that was a long TED talk about sisters, but I love mine. She's very
beautiful.
Important to me.
God, what word am I looking for? Insightful, generous, speaks to like your huge capacity to see beyond your own experience. You're huge, like it's just so empathetic and compassionate. That's a lot. Just take the W and that's it. Done. Okay. End of story. Period.
And what was your antidepressant?
My mom is in town. Speaking of family, my mom is in town. She's been helping me organize stuff. I see a project that looks just so daunting to me, and I immediately want to shut my eyes and go to bed. And she just like can't wait to get in it and just like fix it. She can't sit still for a minute. I don't know what it's like to be like that, and she doesn't know what it's like to be me. And so it's been very helpful. And because she's in town, that meant built-in babysitter. And so Josh and I got to go on a date last night, and we went to a darling little restaurant that is now my new favorite. And then we went and saw Beetlejuice, and it was really fun.
Was it good?
It was good. Clunky, but good.
Okay, fair.
Really great. I did not know that people dressed up to go see. So many people were dressed up in Beetlejuice outfits to see this movie. Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, okay. I was not expecting this, but And it was really awesome to see characters come on stage or come on screen. And you're like, oh, I know that dude. And like everyone's like, yay, So I thought it was charming. And
That's
I feel
awesome.
like if I don't see a movie in a theater these days, because I'm so used to like hour-long shows that I can binge, or just like a steady fucking stream of reality shows that I can binge, I'm like, oh God, 90 minutes, 120 minutes? If I'm at home on my couch, a movie sounds daunting. But if I go see it in a movie theater, I'm fine.
Totally.
So
And
I
it's
need
like
to
a
up my
fun
movie
event.
theaters.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And then we went to another back to school night for my kid's new school. And it just reaffirms that we made the right decision every time. Like, I'm so grateful that my kid landed here because I feel very much like this is, for my boy, it is going to work with his personality and his sensitivities. And I'm really grateful.
So glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Me too. Thank you, friend.
Everybody deserves that,
I agree.
like to land in the
Right.
community that suits him best. Like
Yes. I'm looking forward to my child thriving in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
amazing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of another episode of A Therapeutic Dose. We are so happy that you joined us for this episode. If you would be so kind to rate, review, and subscribe, pass it on, tap that little share icon, send that text to your coworker or your friend. Hey, I think you might like this. Throw us a 5-star if you're so inclined. You can find us on Instagram at A Therapeutic Dose, or you can also email us at atherapeuticdose@gmail.com. And
Thank
have
you for listening and
have a beautiful week. As long as you don't act like Alexis or Tamra or Heather or the producers of The Bachelor, you're already winning. Give yourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Agree.
Take good care of yourselves, and we'll talk next week.
We'll talk next week. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are
Obviously
not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.